Hi, I'm Erica from my phone and welcome to another video. Tonight, Paramore has just dropped their newest studio album, This Is Why. It's been 6 years since Paramore dropped an album, and After Laughter was so good. It was probably my favorite album cohesively. I also really like Riot. I love parts of the self-titled. Yeah, I love Paramore, and I've talked about Hayley Williams' solo stuff on this channel, but it's time, finally, to get a reaction to an album that's new from Paramore. That's so exciting. I've already heard it. This Is Why, The News, and C'est Comme Ça. Is that how it's pronounced? C'est Comme Ça, na 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 na. Yeah, that's exactly right. And I am a little disappointed that it's only 10 songs, so it is a very compact record, but I hope that with compactness comes real excitement. They're packing a lot, hopefully, in that little bit of time. But anyway, let's not delay too much longer. Let's get into it. Track number 1 is This Is Why, and track number 2 is The News. Both songs I have heard before and enjoy, so I'm going to listen to both and then get into the meat and the potatoes of the album reaction tonight. Ooh, I forget how subtle it starts. This is really good groovy intro to just get us into the mood of the album. Maybe you shut it, keep it to yourself. This is why I don't leave the house. Catch me out. Oh, why? I'm also still confused on what the music video is showing, so if you have thoughts on that, let me know. I love the different inflection on this final chorus. The war on the other side of the planet. Oh, it's a little close. A war behind my eyes, the personal and the societal. Turn off the news. Oh, I didn't realize that. You're safe inside, you're not on the front lines. I remember from listening to headphones that it does sound incredible, much more than now. I love this part because it feels a little like Courtney Barnett's Pedestrian at Best is the song I was looking for.
All along we called it normal.
All along we called it normal. So that was both This Is Why and The News, and I think these are actually good in conversation with each other. For This Is Why, just setting the tone, because these were our first 2 tastes of the album, with This Is Why being the first one, so it makes sense that they were trying to tell a story a little bit and get us really prepped for the album and the way that we're actually going to hear the album when the album drops. Something about the song This Is Why gets a good mix of Paramore's sound, but then also a lot of the stuff that Hayley Williams dabbled on in her solo projects. I feel like it's a little more muted. It fits the color scheme and my synesthesia of the album cover so well, much like After Laughter does too. Does Hayley have synesthesia or something? I don't know. But this in particular, I would say that This Is Why it really matches the album cover perfectly. And it's the title track, so absolutely perfect. The News got more interesting as I started listening to the lyrics more than just the really cool, pop punk production. Before turning on this camera, I actually did look through all the stuff that's on Spotify of Hayley and the other 2 members, Zach and Taylor. I think that's right. But they are all talking about the album, and they were saying how This Is Why kind of sets the scene for the rest of the album. And then also that one of the key themes of this album is dealing with how there's a socio-political nature of our world, but then also you're having your own personal life at the exact same time and realizing how those interact with each other. And I think The News actually does that really well. They're saying that our collective heart breaks and every single heart is shaking as a result of watching the news, something that has allowed for a lot more communication, a lot of more awareness on different things that are happening. But we, as a species, have not always known what's happening 2,000 miles away. And not every tragedy is something that we, as a society, should always collectively bear. And we shouldn't know everything, because if we do, it's deeply depressing. There's a lot of bad stuff out there, and the news tends to focus on those because, especially anything that results in a loss of life, you want to be respectful of that. But if you are consuming all that media all the time, yeah, it's going to haunt you when you're not watching the news. as much as I love to be an activist and an advocate, I understand when enough has hit and you really can't do much about it and it can stress you out beyond belief. So I'm not saying that you need to definitely turn off the news. I personally actually don't watch the news all that much, actually, at all, because my parents do. I have people around me that are consumed by the news, and so if there's anything that is deeply important, that is when I'm going to hear about it. I'm going to hear about it from someone that I care about, and if it's someone who cares about me is sharing something to me, I know that's probably important that I know, or something that would be interesting at least for me to hear about. And I think that's made me a much more optimistic person, because the news is not made for the optimists. The news is made for the pessimists and for corporations that are profiting off of horror and tragedy. And I want to fight them. Yeah, they're big corporations generally. If you are watching the news, I hope you're supporting underground, grassroots supported type of news, because the amount of money that corporations receive from reporting on horrible things happening and focusing on that horrible thing, because you know you'll keep watching for doing that, it's sick and twisted. And yeah, I think this night might be a Eric gets on his soapbox moment, because we're getting into politics on this, and I think that Paramore and I probably lean similar ways. I'm gonna have some thoughts. But yeah, great start to the album. I'm intrigued to see if we continue in these similar sonic palettes or if it spreads out wildly. Let's find out with track number 3, Running Out of Time. Oh, that's an interesting sound. I was gonna take some flowers to my neighbor. Intentions only get you so far. Oh, what if I was just selfish? Oh, that's groovy. I'm always running out of time. Mood. I just had to be silent for that scream again. Oh, that's fun. My watch is just for decoration. That's a new sensation, showing up early for once. Ooh, I love how high she got. So that was Running Out of Time. Ooh, that was fun. Hearing new Paramore stuff with y'all. Like, on camera, yes, absolutely. Running Out of Time is pretty self-explanatory. She's talking about always being late, or, oh, I meant to do that, but I really just didn't have the time. I ran out of time. My watch is just for decoration. I really cannot use it for punctuality, except for the one time I was there early. Now, you should really applaud that, because like that doesn't happen. I felt this as a personal attack because I tend to overbook myself. I tend to plan to do more things than I get to. And I have been regularly showing up late to work. Oops, my bad. I'm always running out of time, and we don't need to talk about how many times I hit the snooze on my alarm. But it brings up another philosophical thought, because Eric is on his soapbox tonight, and I was hearing about how in a lot of Western cultures we have this sense of monochronistic time, that time moves linearly, that you need to be on time for everything, that you need to keep certain tasks going in order to progress as a person and as a society, and that you should always be punctual and stuff like that. But then many other cultures that are not, like the United States and parts of Europe and Australia, are generally more polychronistic, where, oh, these things will happen tomorrow. Oh, if you're on the street, like you're walking down the street and you're trying to get somewhere on time and you see a friend, like I guess in monochronistic cultures, you should not talk to them and you should go about your day and make sure you get to your stuff on time. But I guess in polychronistic cultures, I'm learning about them, that you're more apt to spend time with people, and that time doesn't move as linearly, that it's just more spatial, and I don't know how to describe it because it's not something that I've been indoctrinated in my culture. So I have been lately actually trying to be a little more polychronistic. I am showing up late more to things, which stresses me out a bit, but I'm also realizing I'm valuing more experiences. I'm talking to my friends more. I'm engaging in social activities. I'm doing activities that I find enjoyable because I'm giving myself the permission to do so. And that's been really hard to do that, and I'm really proud of myself for that. But they're trying to call me out a little bit on that. But I think this is definitely a very relatable song, and the idea that intentions only really get you so far, actions do speak louder than words. Yeah, it's hard, and I'm right there with you all, for sure, on that. Sonically, I also really like it. It's a bop. I love her yas, and I like how it gets groovy. I thought it was going to be more chill and laid back, but then really just exploded. I'm a fan. Track number 4 is C'est Comme Ça, the last song on here that we have already heard. I enjoy it. Let's hear it again, the context of the album. I did not remember that intro at all. It felt like a different song. C'est comme ça, na 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 na. I'm off caffeine, but I was never on it. Na 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 na. Hate to admit, getting better is boring. So that was C'est Comme Ça. A bop. It's short, it passes over you, it's the shortest song on the album. It's a vibe, fully. I like the different vibes of her vocals on here. You get the C'est Comme Ça. Like it's speak singing, and then you get the parts of just clearly speaking. And then you get some stuff that feels a little more classic Hayley Williams. The bridge and the bringing it back into the final chorus of the I still need little degree of disorder. I don't really exactly remember those lyrics. I haven't listened to this song as much. It's a little newer. But yeah, no, it's still a full vibe. Yes. I'm sorry. I just, in that moment, remembered I'm seeing them in June. This is so exciting. Yeah, so I'm going to hear some of these songs. Like, running out of time going to be a bop then. And this is why it's obviously going to be played. But I also hope that they play some of their older songs as well. I'm sure they will. But we also have half of the album, Eric, to get through. So let's see exactly how much of this album I want them to play on tour. I'm sure there's some more good gems in here. But as for C'est Comme Ça, it's a bop. And honestly, of the 3 that we heard, I don't know, between This Is Why and this one, but now the news is kind of growing on me because now I understood the message. I was like, oh, shoot. C'est Comme Ça, if you don't know already, means it is what it is in French. So, it's like, que sera, basically. I'm just gonna vibe. We're just gonna be ourselves. And it's hard to admit that getting better is boring, so I just don't really want to get better. I just want to be a mess. And there's something fun about being a mess, for sure. But getting better can also be really cool at the same time. I don't know. I tend to enjoy some mundane activities as well as some very exciting activities. I like some balance. You gotta have some moderation. Track number 5 is Big Man, Little Dignity. Who you calling out? Oh, it's slow. Are you really gonna call them out? Oh, this reminds me of a song, but I can't tell you what it is. Don't mean to stare at you from across the room. You're so smooth, it's pitiful. Ooh, she got a little sophisticated in the chorus. You got no integrity. Shoo. I like how she did little gives a little callback to C'est Comme Ça. Oh, it reminds me a little bit of Dreams from Fleetwood Mac. What did you just say? No offense, but you got no integrity. I memorized all your lies. Fantasize your demise. Ooh. Ooh. What woodwind is that? Is that a flute? Okay. Lizzo? So that was Big Man, Little Dignity. Okay, so the second half of the song I definitely like just blacked out for. My apologies on that. This song seems to be about someone who they're like, they ain't ish. Yeah, they're just not worth their salt. I don't think I've ever said that phrase before. But there's this big man who has little dignity, and no offense, but you got no integrity. I understood that part of the chorus. The verses I started being confused because the first part sounded like, oh, it's like, what is it? Not captivated, but the sheer sight of you was something important. Like that they really couldn't take their eyes off of this person. And so it felt a little flirtatious, romantic. But then, no, I don't think so. Because if you say you have no integrity, I don't think, it's not saying that they're a bad boy in the way that they can be desirable. I think it's in the sense of like, no, I don't like you at all. Very much like the audience of the song Relay from Fiona Apple. Amazing song. Gosh, I want to listen to Vegetable Cutters too right now. But no, yeah, This Is Why, and then I gotta go to sleep. But yes, I liked this song. It was a little slower, it was a little more chiller. I think that's why I blacked out. I got a little sleepy because it was a little slower. And I think I won't be as sleepy tomorrow when I listen to this album again. But for now, it's a little more mellow than some of the other tracks on this record, and so it might not stick out as much to me. Track number 6 is You First. How polite. Oh, where are we gonna go with this? Okay, drums. You should take it from me. Living well is just a privilege. Who invited you? Everyone is a bad guy. Oh. There's no way to know who's the worst. You first. I got that. Karma comes for you first. Living in a horror film. The stray animal that keeps coming back because you feed them. I like this guitar distortion. Never said I wasn't petty. Me neither. So it was You First. Ooh, that's gonna be a song that is underrated as hell. Yeah, no, I like it. I enjoy it. Yeah, I'm gonna like it, but it's gonna be one I feel like just people are not going to find it to be their favorites for some reason. They're just gonna underrate it, and they can do that. They'll just be mine. You should know by now, after my Midnight's reaction, that I do love a song called Karma. And yeah, I like songs that are about karma, and I think it's such a cool concept to think about. It's a reassuring, relaxing thought. And so, the mentioning, never said I was petty, but I do hope karma comes for you first. And yeah, no, I like that. Especially in the vein of everyone's a bad guy, which I assume includes the speaker, Haley, and Paramore. Like, they're not exempting themselves. Everyone's a bad guy, and there's no way to know who's worse. Because if you're thinking about your own life, it's unlikely that you've only done good things or only done bad things. You are a mix. And some of those things are public knowledge. Some of these are close knowledge that only your closest friends know. Some things are just things that your family knows. Some things it's just things that you and a higher being, if you believe in one, knows. And so karma is very interesting. And we don't know where karma goes exactly. And we don't know if karma's always served. And yeah, I don't know. It's such an interesting song. and I like it sonically. I just like the vibe of it. It's a good vibe. Yeah, it gives the vibe. It makes me think, which I think, especially with this album, Paramore likes to make me think. But it also is something to jam and rock out to. So I really have no complaints on this one. It's a nice one. I like it. I'll definitely listen to it again. Track number 7 is Figure 8. You could have put that as track 8. Come on, you could have made an 11-song album and just added one here if you really needed to make Figure 8 track 8. But I guess it's just track number 7. We'll get over it. This is on a Paramore record? This gives Arca or Claire or something. Is this like a harp little loop? Oh, that was such a word vomit that I didn't understand. I don't know how to stop. Oh no. I don't know how to stop. Oh, she did stop. I lost my way. Spinning in an endless figure 8. Shoot. I feel like this is maybe in a different time signature. Oh, I like that cadence of the I don't know how to stop and how she says it, the timbre. Candlelight, burning both ends tonight. You're losing your shape. Oh, that loop is still there. It's endless. So is figure 8. Oh, much to think about on this one. Yeah. This is a given spiraling energy. Yep. You're going into an endless figure 8. Are you going down, up? Or is it just like, just right here? Just vibing. I think when I hear the title of the song, Figure 8, I think of the Schoolhouse Rock song, which I think is still called Figure 8. And if you don't know Schoolhouse Rock, first of all, where have you been? You should know Schoolhouse Rock. Schoolhouse Rock is so much fun and very educational for small children. However, you can also learn things that you may have forgotten from high school, middle school, elementary school, etc. Yes, but they do a number series, and the multiplications for 8 they have in this song, and they say, put it on a side and it's a symbol meaning infinity. And no, I could sing better than that, but I am not warmed up. And it is after 1 a.m. at this point, and I'm not trying to wake up my roommates. I don't need to do that. I'm also saving my voice for the play I'm in. So keep that in mind, that I could belt it out, but you should just check out Schoolhouse Rock in general. But that's to connect it to the sense of feeling endless, because infinity is endless. And I think the figure 8 makes sense. Instead of just spinning in a circle endlessly, it's a figure 8 because it happens infinitely. And she feels that she's lost her way and that she's become the thing that she hates. So yeah, I think this is a very relatable message. And I think this song, as well as many other songs on this album, I like it in a way because it doesn't sound much like I've listened to before, and it doesn't sound quite like the Paramore I'm used to either. There's been a lot of moments of pop punk in the past few years, especially the Travis Barker revolution, I might call it, and the Machine Gun Kelly moment. Yeah, I feel like songs that are considered in the pop punk or rock sphere have been really like that, especially the ones that are blowing up on TikTok and that type of vibe. And I think it's refreshing to hear an artist that has been in the pop punk game for a while now and have them come back and have their sound that they want to make. Similar to how Fall Out Boy is having theirs very soon. And I'm very excited about that one as well. I hope to react to it as well for you. But this has just been kind of refreshing to hear from the rock sphere. It reminds me that, yeah, there is availability and opportunity for the genre to mix it up and do a lot of different things. And anyone who's annoyed that rock's not doing well in the charts when most of its popular artists remain pretty stagnant should remember that they can in theory, change their vibe up if they want to become more popular again. It is possible. Is it as trendy? No. But who says that rock and pop punk were ever about trends? Shouldn't be. Generally, I feel like that's the ethos, is you shouldn't care, so don't. I know that can be a kind of sense of entitlement as someone who doesn't really make rock music much. And I also know that many rock bands and pop punk bands, especially smaller ones, have trouble navigating with their label or navigating with, just living, because they have to make money in order to eat and live. And so I understand that frustration. I've heard Watch What Happens Next from Water Parks. That's a fair thing to critique on. But at the same time, I think then those labels really should be looking and realizing that if they want these rock and pop punk musicians to do well, maybe they should listen to what people actually are wanting. All of that is to say that I'm glad that Paramore seems to have a good amount of creative control in their projects. I think Haley and the gang wouldn't have it any other way, and I think it really shows that they enjoy the music that they're putting out. Track number 8 is Liar. Now who are you calling out? Are we gonna have a quiet number? Is this actually happening? Well, this is giving some solo work vibes. Keep you safe from me. I lied to you. Oh. I never needed to lie. You always knew the truth. Oh, this is a sweet song. What is happening in this? Oh, I heard the flute again. I'm not ashamed of it. Oh, don't be ashamed of love. Oh. You always knew the truth. Ooh, I like this drum outro. Okay, go off. So that was Liar. You didn't go off in terms of going off on someone, except for saying that you love them. This one's so cute. Oh my god. I know it's right in time for Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day if you celebrate. For me, I'll be celebrating February 15th with Discount Chocolate Day. It's a good holiday. But I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just been cold and cuffing season feels real for once, but I have just been into so many like saccharine love songs, like songs that I've reacted to on previous albums that I was like, oh, well, maybe I'll like this when I'm in love with someone. I'm not currently in love with someone, but I'm in love so much with the idea of love that it doesn't matter. I'm really gaslighting myself into thinking I'm taken. I find it very laughable and very hysterical, but this song's gonna get added to the playlist I'm making right now. It's so... Oh, yeah. No, it's nice. I don't know what it is. Something about saying, oh, I lied to you, but you always knew the truth. I don't know. It's cheesy, but it's sweet. I also haven't liked a lot of slower tempo, but this is like, I don't know, mid-tempo. It kind of gives a little Western Wind from Carly Rae Jepsen, that vibe of, it's not upbeat, but it's also not really slow either. It's just like a song to really chill out sonically too. And then lyrically, it's very sweet. Oh my god. That is sweet. I hope this is based on a real experience so I can say happy for you. A little jealous, but don't worry, I'm not taking your person. You can vibe and fully just be with them. I'm happy. I love love. But yeah, I was wondering if we were going to get like a follow-up to Still Into You. I know that plenty of Paramore songs really don't touch on love at all, whether it's negative or positive, but they write the best love songs. The only exception Yes. Still Into You. Good. I like Taken also from Petals for Armor. I don't know if that really counts, but I like it. And then now we have Liar to add to the catalog. I'm sure there's some that I forgot to mention, but yeah, no, I do like Crush, Crush, Crush. Yeah. I don't know, something about it. Haley, and I don't know if it's just Haley who does the lyrics for Paramore. Not quite sure on that. But Haley and whoever else is writing lyrics with her, they do great when it comes to love songs. But I like that it's not like only love songs that they do. I mean, they are a pop punk band at the end of the day. They're not going to necessarily be focusing on being so happy. They're going to talk about some of the stuff that's frustrating them, because that is the type of genre of lyrics that really work with the genre of music that they're going for. But I like the balance. I like the variety on this project so far. It's nice. It's refreshing. Track number 9 is Crave. I have a good feeling about this song. I don't know why. Just the title alone makes me feel like it's going to be something I crave. This sounds like an electric version of the opening of Good Days from SZA. Can't wait to memorize this day. You say live in the present. Trying to savor the moment, the feeling will come to an end. I crave to do it again. When all it took to make me cry was being alive. Wait a second, feel the present. Oh, future and past connected. Oh, I'm already missing it. So is Crave, and what a chill tune. Okay, I had a good feeling about it because they were personally attacking me again. They're saying, oh, yeah, like you already know that the feeling's gonna end when you're having that time, and you're trying to savor it and memorize the whole experience so that you can look back on it fondly. But sometimes that takes you out of the actual moment. And you crave to do the experience again because everything felt simple and suddenly you're missing it. It's about nostalgia. The song feels nostalgic too, which is great. I love when the sonic components match the lyrical components. We love that alignment. I really like the song, even though it doesn't necessarily stand out as a song. It doesn't do like a lot of, electric guitar flares. It doesn't try to be in your face ever, but it's just a nice message, something that feels warm. I think it's too cold outside for this song right now, unfortunately. So I think I will rate it probably higher than I'm currently going to rank it when the sun starts coming out more. And then, I don't know, it feels like either like a late spring, early summer day. Like it just gives off that energy. It feels warm, but not too warm that it's uncomfortable, and definitely not something where I really am thinking about putting sunscreen on. I probably should, but maybe it's like late May and you're like on a hammock between two trees, so it's kind of shady. I don't know, but I also feel like I'm getting the warmth of the sun on my face. Basically, for me, I like the song. I think the time setting and the seasonal setting for it has not happened yet from this time that I'm hearing it for the first time. But definitely glad that I was interested in this song because it was interesting. Track number 10, last track on this album, Thick Skull. This is apparently Paramore's favorite track on the album. It's also the first track that they made for it. So let's see where it all started and how this album ends. I'm a magnet for broken pieces. I'm attracted to broken people. It looks like I'm caught red-handed. Thick Skull never did nothing for me. Okay, a little bit different. We brought in some more instrumentation. Only I know where the bodies are buried. I now find them a little less scary. It gets easier, but you don't get used to it. What's the body count up to? Oh, we're having the moment from before. But I think there's some more ad-libs in the background. Oh, a little more percussion this time. Come on out with your hands up. Pick them up and now my fingers are bleeding. Oh, you're gonna end with acapella. Classic. So that was Thick Skull, and what a way to end the album. It actually sounds a lot like something that would have been on Flowers for Vases. Yeah, that's interesting. Descansos. I tend to call it Descansos over Flowers for Vases, but both the same album. Both a great album. Definitely check that out if you haven't already. I understand part of this song. I mean, I do need to read the lyrics for some of this, and obviously with the album just coming out, not all those lyrics are available right now for me. But I know that she says that she attracts broken pieces and she's attracted to broken people, and so she tries to help them and pick them up, and that causes her to start bleeding, and then it looks like it's her fault that she's caught red-handed and that she's the one who broke them, when that's not necessarily true. You are responsible for yourself. Sometimes people can do a lot of bad things to you, for sure. I think we need to stop victim blaming, but I also think we need to realize that there is sometimes, and I'm not meaning in cases of an SA or anything like that, but in cases of, relationships, that sometimes both people are bad. Sometimes one person is very abusive. Because I believe in this case, she's probably saying that these broken people kind of take it out on her in a way. And so she's saying, hey, I am the actual victim in this case, but they were broken and I'm just attracted to broken people. So yeah, I think it's standing up for your worth at the same time of being like, yeah, sometimes you surround yourself with the wrong crowd. I do hope for all of you out there that you do have a good group of people who look out for you and have your best interests at heart. And I think everyone is broken to some degree, but it also, I don't know, I don't think in a broken mentality, because I think very optimistically and holistically of like, we're all growing people. We're like plants, and plants aren't broken, they just grow over time. Like a small plant is not broken necessarily. It can break, it can sustain some injury, but I tend to think more in that mindset than the broken mindset. But yeah, that's just me. I guess more naturally than the synthetic and industrial nature of broken that word suggests. But yeah, this one I feel like it's gonna sound incredible in headphones. I feel like this one is one that is good and better after hearing the whole album all the way through without stopping, not talking like I do. But yeah, I think I need more time with this one. It's definitely not going to be my favorite one right now on the record. I could eat those words up after hearing this album all the way through. But for now, I need to give this one a little time to grow like a plant, not like, a machine. I think it needs time to grow and develop within me. And I think the song does grow in itself over time. So I think I need to definitely hear this one again before I have a full understanding of where I'm at with it. With that said, we have finished This Is Why, and this is why I love Paramore. They give me something different every time. Every album is very distinct, and I think we have artists that were like, oh yeah, they're definitely very different with each album. I think Miley Cyrus, for example, Taylor Swift. But I don't think we always think about Paramore, and maybe that's just because they're not a pop group. They're not as mainstream to be always brought up in those types of conversations. But I feel like Paramore in general, they do change their sound. Even this one, I think, is actually the first time they've had 2 consecutive albums with the same group of people in Paramore, which is wild to think about. But I think it's also very interesting to allow the same group of people to develop. And I guess 6 years will change how you sound. probably 5 years in terms of actual recording. But yeah, it's very interesting. And I sincerely hope, that this is not the first album in a while, and then we're going to have this album as the newest album for also a very long time. I do hope we get Paramore music a little more regularly, especially if they are vibing as a group. I am hopeful that we get some more group collective stuff. But I also know they tend to do more festivals, and they do concerts, obviously, because I'm going to go see them. It's going to be exciting to go see them. But I think this album also was, we want to tour again. We want to create an album and some new music that we can add into that rotation. But I think maybe that's why it's probably 10 songs, so they don't feel like they're fully touring an album, that instead they're actually touring as themselves, and hey, look, there's a new album out. So we'll have to see post this tour if they are using it more to tour, or if they actually were really vibing and getting this album. I mean, it's a great album. I'm not saying anything like, they just made it because they had to phone it in. No, I think they made a good collection of songs. But I think also sometimes when you just have a really good discography to pull from, you don't necessarily need a lot of new material. It's nice to keep it fresh, but there is albums there that you can really fully enjoy. And I'm happy that they added this album to their discography, and I'm excited to add it to my listening rotation. I realize I have a lot of good pop punk and rock albums coming out soon. We had Rush, January we have This Is Why this month. Next month is Fall Out Boys. April is Water Parks. We're really set for the first third of the year, so that's pretty dope. I'm really pumped about it. Excited to have this on for a few more spins, give you my thoughts on it more as those feelings develop. With that said, here are some of my favorites at the top tier, the songs I love, the standouts, the ones I've been playing over and over again. Songs in the middle are songs I like, I'll add them to my playlist, but they might not be at the top of the top, and songs at the bottom are just not really my thing. Doesn't mean they're a bad song, doesn't mean they can't be your favorite song, just means it's not for me, and that's okay. Paramore made this album. For me? For you? Who knows? I don't know. I feel like they made it because they wanted to make it, and that's always refreshing when an artist comes back after a while and is like, I'm here and I have something to share with you. Also, let me know what you thought of this album. Did you like it? Did you not? Where do you think it goes within your ranking of the discography? What are your favorites? What are your not favorites? Yeah, let me know all of your thoughts down in the comments below. If you like this video, please leave a comment down below what you'd like to react to or do next on my channel. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not already and you'd like to be. And thanks for watching. This is TurtleStormer. Catch you later.